Rockefeller, how one man built the world's first billion-dollar empire. The name that once ruled America, there was a time when a single name carried more power than governments, banks, and entire industries combined. John D. Rockefeller, not a king, not a president, not a general. Yet his decisions controlled energy, transportation, industry, and the future of modern life. Oil was not just fuel, it was power, and Rockefeller owned it. At his peak, he controlled over 90% of America's oil refining capacity. No corporation before or after has ever come close to that level of dominance. But the story of Rockefeller does not begin with oil fields, railroads, or boardrooms. It begins with poverty, fear, and a childhood shaped by instability. The poor Mr. Rockefeller, John Davison Rockefeller, was born in 1839 in a small New York town, into a family that lived on the edge of survival. Money was scarce. Stability was non-existent. His father, William Devil Bill Rockefeller, was a charming liar, a traveling salesman who sold fake medicine under false names. He disappeared for months at a time, returned with gifts, then vanished again, leaving behind confusion and emotional chaos. John grew up watching wealth arrive and evaporate. This created two things inside him: a deep fear of poverty, an obsession with control. His mother, Eliza, was the opposite of his father, deeply religious, disciplined, strict with money. She taught John that every cent mattered, and that waste was a moral failure, not just a financial one. By age 10, John was already working, saving, lending small amounts of money, and recording everything in a notebook. Habits far beyond his age. Even as a child, he didn't dream of riches. He dreamed of security, order, and a life where nothing could suddenly disappear. The young Mr. Rockefeller. At 16, Rockefeller left school and entered the real world, not with confidence, but with desperation. He searched for work relentlessly, walking miles every day, rejected again and again for being too young and inexperienced. Finally, a small firm hired him as a bookkeeper. This job changed everything. Rockefeller wasn't just doing math, he was studying systems. How money moved, how profit was created, how inefficiency destroyed businesses. He treated the office like a classroom, absorbing lessons no school could teach. He worked longer hours than anyone else and volunteered for tasks others avoided. He tracked every detail, every error, every missed opportunity. When he received his first paycheck, he celebrated it like a personal holiday, something he would remember every year for the rest of his life. That moment convinced him of one thing: money meant independence, and independence meant safety from chaos. The ambitious Mr. Rockefeller. In his early 20s, Rockefeller entered business with Morris Clark, selling produce during the American Civil War. The war created chaos and opportunity. Food prices soared, supply chains broke down, smart operators thrived. While others chased quick profits, Rockefeller focused on consistency and discipline. He tracked costs obsessively and refused reckless expansion. During this period, a new industry was quietly forming: oil refining. Crude oil was being refined into kerosene, replacing whale oil and illuminating homes across America. Rockefeller ran the numbers again and again. The margins were enormous, but more importantly, demand was growing fast. Within a year, oil eclipsed every other part of his business. He didn't hesitate. He sold everything else and committed fully to oil, a move most thought reckless, even dangerous. Rockefeller saw what others didn't. Oil wasn't just a product. It was the future of modern civilization. The ruthless Mr. Rockefeller oil refining was unstable and dangerous. Prices fluctuated wildly. Refineries exploded. Competitors appeared overnight and disappeared just as fast. Rockefeller responded with cold logic, not emotion. He focused on refining, not drilling, reducing risk, and controlling quality. While others gambled on oil fields, he perfected the process of turning crude into usable fuel. Then he partnered with Henry Flagler, a man who believed business was war, not cooperation. Their most powerful weapon was not oil, it was transportation. Rockefeller negotiated secret deals with railroads, rebates that lowered his shipping costs while competitors paid full price. This hidden advantage crushed rivals quietly. This allowed him to sell oil cheaper than anyone else and still make profit. Competitors collapsed under the pressure. Rockefeller bought them cheaply, not with violence, with inevitability and mathematical precision. The formidable Mr. Rockefeller. As Rockefeller's power grew, he attempted to formalize control through secret alliances between railroads and refiners, a system designed to lock competitors out permanently. The plan leaked. Public outrage followed. Protests erupted. Rail shipments were attacked. Oil facilities were destroyed. The scheme collapsed under public pressure and political backlash. But Rockefeller learned a critical lesson. Power works best when it is quiet and invisible. He shifted strategy completely. Instead of public alliances, he used pressure, price wars, and strategic buyouts to absorb competitors one by one. This culminated in what history calls the Cleveland Massacre, a moment when dozens of refiners were forced to sell or be destroyed financially. Cleveland's oil industry died almost overnight. From its ashes, a single empire emerged. Standard Oil was born. The controlling Mr. Rockefeller didn't stop at refining. He expanded vertically, something no industrialist had ever executed at this scale. He controlled pipelines, storage, transportation, distribution, sales. Every step of oil's journey, from the ground to the lamp. When competitors struggled with inconsistent quality, Rockefeller invested heavily in chemistry and laboratory research. He standardized production when chaos ruled the industry. He turned waste into profit. When gasoline, once thrown away, became valuable due to automobiles, Standard Oil was already positioned to dominate. Economic crashes came and went. Standard Oil survived them all. Rockefeller didn't gamble on markets. He engineered outcomes long before others saw them coming. The powerful Mr. Rockefeller's influence eventually extended far beyond oil. Quietly, strategically, he acquired iron ore, the raw foundation of steel and industrial expansion. This move brought him into contact with Andrew Carnegie, the Steel King of America. Negotiations followed behind closed doors, shaping the future of industry. Then J.P. Morgan entered, Wall Street's most powerful financier. The result was U.S. Steel, the first billion-dollar corporation in history, a symbol of American industrial dominance. Rockefeller stepped away from daily management, but his financial fingerprints remained everywhere. His wealth was now so vast that even estimates struggled to define it. He had become untouchable. The notorious Mr. Rockefeller. As Rockefeller's empire grew, public anger followed closely behind. Power without visibility began to frighten the nation. Journalist Ida Tarbell exposed Rockefeller's methods in brutal, meticulous detail. Her work painted him not as a genius, but as a predator. The public turned against him. Politicians responded. President Theodore Roosevelt enforced antitrust laws with unprecedented force. Years of investigations followed. In 1911, Standard Oil was declared illegal and broken into pieces. The greatest monopoly in history was dismantled, not by competitors, but by the government itself. An era of unchecked industrial power came to an end. The generous Mr. Rockefeller. Ironically, the breakup made Rockefeller even richer. His shares in the newly formed companies multiplied rapidly in value. Now retired, he turned his focus toward philanthropy on a scale as massive as his empire once was. He funded medical research, universities, global health initiatives. The Rockefeller Foundation reshaped modern education, medicine, and public health worldwide. Diseases were studied, institutions were built, knowledge expanded, yet his legacy remains deeply complex. Visionary, monopolist, builder, destroyer. He gave humanity progress, but at a cost that history still debates. The man who changed capitalism forever. John D. Rockefeller didn't just create wealth. He rewrote the rules of power. He proved that scale changes morality, that control reshapes markets, that ambition can build civilization and crush it at the same time. The modern world runs on systems he pioneered: vertical integration, corporate dominance, and strategic control. Oil, steel, finance, philanthropy. His influence still echoes through them all. There was only one Rockefeller, and history may never allow another like him. If this story made you think, comment below with your perspective, and subscribe for more deep, cinematic stories of power, wealth, and ambition.